Alright, here we go. We got 11.1 day 1. We're in our final unit, and we're going to have two days on every target. So we're going to have 8 more videos and then we're done. So this is a little reflect on things you've already done because you're going to use these all again. So this is area formulas for parallelograms, right? So we know that it's going to be area base times height, area 1/2 d1 d2, area 1/2 base times height, area 1/2 height base 1 plus base 2, and then area is 1/2 little a p for the apothem and the perimeter. Alright, then definition: the surface area, the blank area of the object's face, is the total area, and a face is all the sides that you can touch. So like in this cylinder picture here, okay, that would be a face, the top, the bottom, and then the rectangular side. So they're trying to unroll this for you so you get a better idea of what the shapes are. So they flipped off of one of the tops and bottoms, like if you had a can of corn, right, and you open it up, but you don't detach the whole thing, and then you peel off the label. This is common, like if you have your water bottle at school or whatever, and everybody picks at the label, and then when you unroll it, it's actually a rectangle. So we're going to find the area of these 3 pieces, and then that would be our total of all the faces. So depending on what shape you have, this is, they call it the net of what it looks like. So on this figure here, it looks like, what is it, an octagon, maybe a heptagon. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to have the 6 for the sides, right, and the 1 for the top and 1 for the bottom. Just a different way to do it. You don't have to draw it that way if you don't want to, but a different way to knock it out. So if we have a prism is going to be where your base at the top and your base at the bottom are the same exact shape. So that would be the definition of a prism. So our surface area of a prism or a cylinder, because our prism has to be a polygon base or bottom, and since a circle is not, because it doesn't have any sides, it's just a mathematical technicality. So our surface area here is 2 times the base area, that's what that means, plus the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. So you're going to have a lot of alphabet soup here, so you got to make sure you know what you're looking for. So my base area is going to be the area of the triangle. So for this example here, right, I'd have my triangle here, and for my perimeter of the base, right, then I would be adding up those dimensions there, but I don't have any there, so I have nothing to write down. And then my h, right, is going to be this h over here. All right, for the cylinder here, if we did our area of the base, then that would be a pi r squared. If we did the perimeter of the base, then that would be the circumference, 2 pi r, and then the h is still the h, like that doesn't change. All right, sometimes for this h in this formula, a lot of people will use a capital H, so that you know the difference between the capital H and the lowercase h from your other formula, so you don't get them confused. All right, so, and this also has the base area. Some people in other videos may have area of the base, and they flip-flop those 2 letters because it makes more sense to them. But you figure out what makes sense to you and just keep going with it. All right, so we're going to have a triangular prism because our base here is a triangle. So I've got a triangle on both sides. That's how I know that. All right, so then if we're going to go to base area plus perimeter of the base times the height, so then I've got 2. So my base area is a triangle, so then I've got 1/2 8 times 6 plus my perimeter of my base is going to be 8 plus 6 plus my missing side, and then my height, I can tell over here, is 20. So my missing side, so the 6, 8, 10, right, that Pythagorean triples again come in to make our life a lot easier for those that memorize them. And now we're just going to clean it up here. So 2.5 times a half are going to cancel. So I've got a 48. 8 and 6, 14, 14 and 10. 14 and 10 is a 24. going to multiply by a 0 there, right? So it's going to be 0 lead. So then I've got 480, 480, and then 48. So I've got 8, 12, 528. And this is area, so we would have units squared. All right. So I did not even use the chart. So if you don't think you need to use the chart, that's fine. But if you think it's going to help you, then go ahead and do it. So I'm going to have a triangle base. My base area, right? We did 1/2 base times height. So we did 1/2, 8 and 6. And we got our 24, our perimeter, right? 8, 6, and 10. We got 24, height of 20, and then 528 units squared. I'm good either way. You use whatever you got to do to help yourself understand. All right, now we got our second sheet here, and then we're almost done. Get my cord in the way. All right, so now this is, we're going to skip B right now because this gets to be a little bit more complicated. Because we gotta shift that off. Oh, I see it now. This trapezoid. Ha! I thought this was half of a pyramid there. So there we go. There's my shape on that side, right? And there's my shape in the back. So it's a trapezoid. All right. So then if I'm going to go surface area is 2 area of the base, because I got 2 trapezoids, so I got to do one for each of them. And then perimeter of my base times my height. Alright, so then I've got my 1/2. So my height is the distance between the bases. Alright, then I got my B1 and B2. So I see I got my 4 here from my base 1. I see the 8 on this side from my base 2. Alright, so now I've got 12. 12 times 3 is 36. Alright, see I did it backwards. I did the AB. Alright, perimeter. So what do I have here? It looks like I've got a 5 on this side. So I got to do another sketch so I can see it better. So I've got a 5. I've got an 8. I've got a 4. And then they gave us a 4.6. 4.6. Oh, I used the wrong H, right? I used the H for in between. So my H for in between is 6, and this is going to be a 4.6. So 36 isn't going to work there. Alright, so let's double check this guy then. So let's clear all that out. I got 0.5 times 4.6 times 12. Alright, so we have 27.6. My perimeter of my base again, right? Trying to get that part done. So I've got this side, I've got this side. I do see tick marks. So that means I've got 5 on this side. So I've got 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 8, 10, 10 and 12, 22. Alright, so then we got surface area is equal to 27.6 plus 22 times 6. So then I've got 187.2. They do have meters in there, so we'll call this meter squared. Alright, so we got a couple different things in the small picture here that slowed me down. And the trapezoid, yes, sometimes it is hard to see the bases. Alright, here we can see circle on the top, circle on the bottom, and they're telling you it's a cylinder. So my base is a circle. So then I've got my pi r squared. I've got my 2 pi r. They gave me the height is 5. So then I've got 16 pi. I've got 8 pi. So then my surface area is 2 area of the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. So then I've got 16 pi plus 8 pi times 5. So I've got 32 pi plus 40 pi is 72 pi. And then I've got meters squared because I've got meters in the problem. All right, two more. All right, so this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a hexagon. All right, so then I've got my 1/2 little AP. And it's regular. I've got all my sides there. So hexagon's got 6. So then I've got 6 times 9 is 54. My height is 7. All right, so I really got to work on my area of my hexagon is 1/2 little AP. All right, so then my little a is x. And my P is, my P we did was 54. All right, so then if I draw in my triangle here, so let's see, we've got 360, it's a hexagon. So that means this whole angle is 60. So when I cut it in half, that angle is going to be a 30. So for my triangle then I've got a 30 degrees on the top, a 60 down below. I've got an X, and so that means that this is a 4.5 side. So for my 30, 60, 90, right? So if this is a 4.5, that means that this is 4.5 radical 3. All right, so then my surface area is 2 area of the base times the perimeter. All right, let's see, let's get a bracket in there. So there's my 2 area of the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. So again, my 2 and my half are going to cancel out. So I'm going to have 4.5 square root of 3 times 54 plus 54 times 7, 700. And this is where if you make a typo, it's hard to see it because we don't really have a number sense to get us an idea on how big this is going to be. All right, the last one. So I can see a triangle on this side, triangle on this side, so I know it's a triangular prism. Just because the base, and I mean bottom, don't tell me this is rectangular because there's no opposite side that's a rectangle. The opposite side is a straight line. All right, so we've got a triangle here. All right, so then we've got a base and we've got a height. Let's see if we have everything here. So then my 1/2 base is 8, my height is 3, so that's a 12. Let's see, this is isosceles, so if this is isosceles, that means this 8 gets cut into a 4, so I've got a 3, 4, and 5. So then my perimeter is going to be 8 plus 5 plus 5, which is 18. The height of my prism, distance between the bases, is 12. So I've got 2 area of the base plus perimeter of the base times the height. All right, so then I've got 24 plus, I don't know what that is, 216. .240 centimeters squared. All right, took a little bit of a long time. There's a lot of little pieces, and I did it 2 different ways. You pick. If you got any questions, send an email. See you guys.